Okay, in this step, we'll be staining our passive amplifier. Now, I can't stress this enough. This step can be super, super messy. Please take your time, go slow, take it easy. And if it looks like you're making a huge mess, you probably are. So focus on what you're doing. Um, I have a piece of brown paper on my table. Notice it's plenty big, more than big enough to cover my space. It's not a little chunk. I'm also wearing gloves. Make sure you're wearing gloves before you open your stain. Um, a quick word on coloring. If on your cone you see a bunch of like glue spots, use the lightest color stain you can on the cone. The glue won't show as much. If you put a dark stain over a glue spot, you're really going to see it. If you want to stain your cone and your base different colors, that's great. I think that looks really cool. You'll need a new setup for each one though. Okay, so keep the other one in your cubby, get it all set up, gloves, stain your cone first with a light color, then put that thing away in your cubby, then get a new piece of paper and new gloves and everything to stain the next one. If you get a drop of the darker stain and the lighter stain, it looks bad. So make sure you take care of that. Um, so when you're staining, I have 3 paper towels here, taken from the paper towel dispenser. Fold it in half nicely. Fold it in half again nicely. And then fold it in half the other way nicely like this. So you have this nice little pad to apply stain with. Um, and I'll fold it in half one more time, just like that. Now, put the smallest amount of stain on you can. When I put the rag in the stain can, I'm only going to put it in maybe a half inch or a quarter inch. That's all you need. So I'm going to just dip it in there just a little bit. You'll see I've got just a little bit on the end of the rag, and I'm going to wipe that into the board with the grain. Now, stain is not like paint. You shouldn't see brush strokes. So if you see strokes from where you're putting the stain on, that means it's too heavy there. So I'm just kind of working it in that side, and then I can take the dry side back over it like that. And that's what it should look like when it's stained. Notice how there's no gob. Something you'll see a lot of times on student work is like those drips and lines like that. It's because there's too much stain there. And you got to get that out right away. That'll soak into the board and it'll stay that way. So do just one side at a time. Take it easy. Take it slow. And just get the one side done and then move on to the next side. Make sure you're always checking as you go around. If you have gloves that are covered in stain, you'll leave fingerprints. So this is really take your time type thing and do a good job on it. Now here's one thing I want to show you. This is what a glue stain looks like. So if you look right there, that's a glue stain. I didn't sand that very well because I wanted to make sure you saw it. So if you see that a glue spot, that's what it looks like after stain is on. They're hard to notice before stain, but as soon as the stain goes on, they really pop out. So you're going to stain all 4 outsides and the inside here as well. The inside is harder to get at, but you'll take your rag on 2 fingers like this, go all the way in, and then kind of pull that stain back. Also stain the front edge of your cone. So just this front edge here like this, and get that stained nicely as well. Then you'll stain your base. You do not have to stain inside where the phone goes or inside of the hole, but you want to get all the outside surfaces. And again, it's the same way. Now, this is where if you made any sanding marks, they're really going to pop out and show. So I'm going to, or made any sanding mistakes, I should say. So I'm working some stain on. Again, I'm working with the grain, and I'm kind of rubbing it in. So when I start now, I can see there's some streaks still, and there shouldn't be streaks in the end. So now I can take the dry side of the rag and kind of work those out with the grain. If you go against the grain, you leave streaks. And then once I have one side all the way done, then I'll go on to the next side and do that for all of the sides here as well.